Welcome to Unfiltered Finance. I'm your host, Emily Turner, and joining us today is Lance Ippolito. And Lance, you don't have to be a gamer to really need to pay attention to some of the headlines when it comes to this crisis, this shortage when it comes to memory and storage. For the traders out there, when you see a headline like this, what bells go off in your brain?
Demand for there's about three stocks that are seeing all the inflows, and they're going absolutely parabolic right now and have continued. Like the past 2 or 3 months, these stocks have doubled, if not more. And it's just an ever ending demand for storage. We keep hearing AI in the headlines, now video games, like you said, the Xbox, maybe even a new PlayStation. It is so high in demand right now. These companies, I think Micron is even building a plant here in the States. They just can't do it fast enough.
So when you have a shortage, is this something that's going to be just like a flash in the pan, like get in now and then get out? Or is this something that will last?
Well, I think it's going to last. And maybe the initial steps could have been a flash and a quick trade, so to speak. We often talk about a flip. But if you look at, we'll give three names. We'll go Micron, we'll do SanDisk, and we'll do Western Digital, so WDC. I mean, these stocks, even when the market pulled back, the S&P pulled back recently around 11% off the highs, these stocks really didn't see much of a pullback. Today, when we see the market rally, these stocks are making new 52-week highs. So usually when you have like a high beta or very volatile stock, they'll go down like 2 times more than the market. These stocks are going down less than the market, and they're going up 2 to 3 times what the market's going up.
Now, as somebody you've given the names of the stocks, right? So for someone who's looking to trade that, is this something that is a longer time domain? Because it's not like all of a sudden you're going to magically get, a plant online and meet the demand with supply.
Right. I think you can short-term trade them on dips, and you can long-term buy and hold. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. They're great trading instruments because they're short-term options and great liquidity. But also, if you just want to be long-term, like buy and hold, for example, they've done really well. And I think will continue to do really well. I mean, you saw NVIDIA CEO talking up Micron and Marvel recently, and those stocks have more than doubled over the past 90 days.
Now, how would you approach this? Is this something where it's like, is this something you would use options for? Is this something that you're going to do what would the strategy be here for somebody?
Yeah, right. That's the difficult part of the situation because they're priced expensive in regards to the option market. So you are going to pay to play. And also the stock prices are expensive. So if you buy and hold, you are going to be spending a pretty penny. It's not like these are $4 penny stocks that could go to $20. I mean, they're already household names, yet they're trading like penny stocks. So a couple of ways you can do it to reduce your overall risk is you could do, let's just say, call options, or if that's too pricey, you can do a call spread where you buy a call and sell a call further out the money to reduce your net debit. Or if you're kind of more of a long-term buy and hold, obviously you can do the stock, you could sell puts, you could do bull put credit spreads. There's a few different option ways to build a position around it just because there's such great liquidity in these stocks. So you can get a little cute with it, so to speak, to scale into these stocks.
So it's almost like it really kind of doesn't matter your time domain. There's something for everybody because they're going to be around.
Exactly. I would say if you don't want to just buy blind and cover your eyes when they're up, 5% or 10% in a day and buy it and have to hold your breath and hope they don't go down. If you can be a little selective and patient, wait till these stocks will have 1 or 2 day dips because Emily, you're not getting more than usually 2 days to the downside before a bounce back. And that could be a good point of an entry, or use we call it a reversion to the mean trade, which is about the 20-day exponential moving average.
It's funny because I think people would see this headline and be like, well, I'm not a gamer and gaming isn't anything that I would trade on. But why would that be a mistake to assume?
Well, you know, I feel like traders are gamers. Gamers were kind of like when I was growing up, you were a nerd if you were a gamer or played video games. And, eventually as you got older, you stopped playing them because can't make money playing video games anymore. That's what we were told. Nowadays, if you look at the most popular people, what do? They're gamers or streamers. Everyone's playing their computer games or Xbox games or PlayStation games out there. So it's uh, kind of the new wave of what the youth want to be when they grow up. Are gamers? They don't want to be baseball players or firefighters anymore. They want to be the next, I Show Speed or the next Mr. Beast. Or these uh, gamers out there, and we're really seeing just a massive popularity in the mainstream of gaming. And one thing we're probably going to be hearing about over these next few months is the new Grand Theft Auto GTA game that is Take-Two Interactive Software. Just on a couple like leaks and news, the stock has seen massive pops. Um, that's going to continue.
Is there a play to make then on companies like Nintendo or Xbox or whatever, those companies?
Nintendo is hard because it had a big run up off the new Wii. I feel like that was more during the holidays and it came down. I think Take Two Interactive, TTWO, is kind of the cleanest play. That's uh, the company that makes like the Grand Theft Auto franchise out there. EA Sports got acquired. They used to be public. I believe Microsoft bought them out. Uh, or, of course, Microsoft, they own Xbox. There's been some news recently that I think they're upping prices pretty substantially out there. Microsoft's kind of been a dog out of the old tech name, so can definitely look at Microsoft.
When you hear a CEO of a major company, come out and say like this is a massive crisis when it comes to memory and storage. Some people might think that's just relegated only to the world of video games. But as a trader, when you hear a headline like that, it's more than that. What is it?
Yeah, when you're having the CEO of a trillion-dollar company, we'll say like Microsoft, uh, they're not just talking that out of their butt and hoping business increases. They don't care if a little bit of stock price move. They're worth hundreds of billions of dollars, so it's not like they're doing this just to scare people, right? No one knows what's going on in the day to day of this sector or of the company than the CEO. So when there's warning signs out there and you're seeing all these companies from Oracle, Microsoft, NVIDIA, SpaceX, Intel, Micron, Marvel, all kind of preach the same crisis, it's for real. And, we alluded earlier, Micron is building here a factory in the U.S., but probably won't get completed till around 2030. Like they can't fulfill demand fast enough, especially here in America.
Yeah, and when supply doesn't meet demand from the stock market standpoint, there's money to be made there.
Yeah, and if you look at South Korea, their stock market is up over 100% year to date. So you think the U.S. market up 10% or so is great. Uh, Most of the names that are in that space in the South Korea market, it's at a double. Like imagine if the U.S. stock market doubled in 6 months, people would be going crazy. But that's the reality over there because there's so much, so many companies that are benefiting from this kind of demand.
Yeah. Well, so what do you think the big takeaway is for people who are listening and are like, I don't know that this is that big of a play? I mean, is this just like something small beans, or do you think this is something people really need to pay attention to?
I mean, I think you have to pay attention and even participate or get left behind. For example, AI 2 to 3 years ago was not that popular in general. you might have heard about it in between conversations every now and then, but it wasn't like AI is going to take over. Now, pretty much everyone, you could go to, Target and speak with the lady working there. You could go to Starbucks and speak with the barista. Everyone knows AI, right? Whether you embrace it or you don't, you love it, you hate it, but it's all here to stay. We're seeing companies, the biggest companies in the world, spend hundreds of billions of dollars in it. So it's here. There's no doubt about it.
And as AI continues to proliferate, it's like you're going to need more memory, more storage, more.
That's exactly right. And that's only going to continue. I mean, think about what's in the pipeline. You have Anthropic probably going public in 2 to 3 months. OpenAI in that same kind of ballpark time range out there. There's probably going to be multiple companies benefiting from them going public, and more names coming up in the sector out there. Like, it's for real. And we've gone through stages. We had cannabis, we had crypto, and all those markets kind of went up. They went down a little bit. We can argue crypto's kind of here to stay, so to speak. But you never had Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple get involved into crypto, so to speak, or cannabis, right? Some of these kind of, phases in the market. With AI, every major company has shifted and either invested, got involved, or has shifted to it. And as a result, what has happened to their stock price? It's gone up. And what are these companies at the end of the day? What is their main goal? To lift their stock price. So it's for real. And the crazy part is, as a trader perspective, is you're seeing these major companies that really didn't move much over the past 10 years or so, especially names like Qualcomm, Micron, Intel, Oracle. They were kind of like, whatever. No one really cares about them. Dead companies. Now these companies are rock stars. And these Qualcomms, these Intels, these companies have doubled, tripled, quadrupled even just over the last few months out there. So if that's not showing there's so much demand for this and those companies as a reflection of the stock price, I don't know what you do, because they're not penny stocks, but they're trading like penny stocks. That's the craziest thing to think.
Yeah. Well, is there anything I'm missing that I haven't asked you about specifically?
I really just think it's the lack of knowledge that people who aren't in the day-to-day of this, because we are in the weeds. Like, if we think about it, we hear about the financial news every single day. We know on a day-to-day basis what's happening with these companies. I think if you are, let's just say, the average accountant or lawyer or dentist, who you're not reading, CNBC every day or Bloomberg every day or following these tickers every day, I think those are the people who maybe in 6 months from now read about this and say, wow, this is a crisis. I need to invest in these companies. Meanwhile, kind of the early pioneers or the people in the day-to-day are the ones seeing it play out in real time. And it's shocking, maybe even a little unbelievable, but the share price is black and white. Like, you have to believe it because it's there in front of you. There's no, there's no gray area, so to speak.
So a get in now kind of situation. And if somebody does, I mean, obviously it's situationally dependent, but like theoretically, how huge could this be?
It's hard to say because there's so much unknown. And that's usually when there's the best time to be into something, is when there's still price discovery. And with price discovery comes the aspect of the unknown. Think of it like this way. You pull up, you're on the boat, you pull up into an island, and all you see is trees, and you can't see anywhere else, and you're exploring a brand new island. There might be springs, there might be fruit trees, there might be, who knows, a shed with caviar and champagne in a cooler. You don't know. So what price do you put on that real estate? There's no comps. You have no idea. if we look at this and even space where there's so much unknown, we're still in the price discovery because we don't have the full, we don't have all the facts. They're not in full. So that's, as an investor or trader, that's where it becomes interesting, because usually when you trade or invest in a company, let's say Coca-Cola, they're all over the world. You know exactly the products. There's little price discovery because price is usually pretty set. You have analysts all over the world. Coca-Cola is everywhere in the world who can project future revenues. With this, because there's so much unknown, the price discovery is hard. So you can say Micron's cheap at $1,000 a share, but it could also be cheap at $5,000 a share, depending on demand and depending on growth. So to see the end of it is very hard right now, but that's where the market is trying to find price discovery to price everything right. And that's why you're seeing such volatility. And volatility is usually a good thing, not a bad thing. So when there's high volatility, like I mentioned, if you do have a couple down days, that's great if you're looking for an entry. On the flip side, if the stocks are just going up every day and you're not in, then you might be paying 10, 20, 50% more than what you could have paid just the other day or so. So it's very, very hard, but usually the best opportunities is when there's still price discovery and there's still a little bit of the unknown, because you get rewarded in financial markets for being early and kind of being on the ground floor, so to speak, rather than late to the party where everyone else is already participating.
Yeah. All right. Well, Lance, I appreciate all of your time and your input. We've got your information in the description below. Everybody at home, click like and subscribe. And in the meantime, we appreciate all your time.